Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. All right, let's get stuck in. So, bit of a Monday surprise here, folks. Monday surprise. And I've been having, let me just see if I need to close down any pages here. Oh, no, I'll be all right for now. Oh, my goodness, there is so much to discuss. As you know, I wasn't able to be up on Friday because I was meeting with friends, and it was also, well, it wasn't just friends, it was my friend Nelliana, and we were talking about my next retreat on 1st of May, Agua Madeira. 1st of May 2026, and Efefe is coming, and many of the people that booked before are coming back, plus more, and all of that kind of stuff. So I'll be publishing the new retreat page soon. It just needs a bit of updating. We're just looking at the terms and conditions and just making sure everything was topped up and neat and tidy, and that will be up soon. So for those who missed the one in May but really wanted to come to that retreat next year, then obviously go for it. It was just remarkable. We're going to be talking about quite a few things today. So we're going to obviously be talking about things in the news. Going to have a little bit of a chat about Three Eye Atlas, and we're going to dive in. But what I'm going to do is, I wasn't expecting to do this, but I'm going to give a shout out to, oh gosh, I hope I've spelled her name right here. I wrote down Mirabelle. Yes, Mirabelle. Someone's saying, so glad to see you right now. Big thank you. Much appreciated. So nice to see you, Sue. And someone just someone said here, Deborah says, I was just looking for you. So what I'm going to do is I need to tell you this. So basically, thank you, Mirabelle, because Mirabelle has given me inspiration to basically republish my novels. Yeah, now of course you guys know about my astrology book. Yeah, so forgive the plug here, whatever, but it is Christmas time, and could be a good read. Not even, I know it's a good read. So everyone knows about this. Yeah, you guys know about this book. Yeah, The Candid Guide to Neo-Vedic Astrology. And thank you as well to all the people that helped make it a success and help it become a bestseller in its category of happiness. It came top in happiness. Can you believe that? And it's had, I think it's had over 80 reviews now. So thank you as well to everyone that bought the book, who supported the book, who is still buying the book and sharing the book, and much appreciated. But what many of you may not know is that this book, was that an orb? Anyway, was that an orb? I think I just saw, anyway, never mind. This book was not my first book. Yeah, technically it's my third. Well, actually you could call it fourth, because I actually illustrated a children's book once upon a time. And so I want to show you two books here. Yeah, these are my novels. Oh gosh, they're quite weighty tomes. Yeah, this is the first one, which is called Beyond the Gates of Hermes. And this is the second one, which is called Beyond the Raging Flames. And I did these books a while ago now, and they're historical adventure fiction with time travel and high stakes, incredible characters, and all of this stuff. But that's not just me saying that. And the reason why I'm giving a shout out to Mirabelle is that basically I unpublished these works. Don't worry, folks, the whole show isn't just me talking about my books, but let me get this off my chest. I wrote these books a while ago, and I've always wanted to continue the series, and I've never had time. As you guys know, my life has changed so much, obviously with the YouTube and all of these different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen here. I'll share screen, and I just want you to see Let's just see, is that the one that we want? Yes. All right, we'll share that. Just so you can see, this is my author page. Oh God, look, there's a picture of me from back in the days. This was on a movie set, but you know, I like my period dramas and all of this kind of stuff. I'm not sure if that is the actual page I wanted to show you. 1 minute. Let's just go back. Let's try that again. And I think it needed to be, was it this one? Yeah. Here we are. So, so here is my Amazon biography. So I've put the link to this in the video below. So here you can see there's my full bio here. Of course, that's me. And again, just even when I updated this, actually, it made me realize, my God, I've really come a long way. You know, the more I think about, you know, all of the stuff in my life and, you know, how things have changed, etc. But these are, of course, my books here. As you can see, this is the one that everyone will know. Oh, look, oh my God, look, now it's got 81 reviews. But these I published back in the day. And I really have a passion for creative writing. I absolutely love being a novelist. And I think it is time to go back to start writing book number 3 in the series. Basically, it features a time traveling professor who's basically going to be collecting all of the souls from history, the brightest minds in history, for an incredible goal without giving away too much. And I just wanted to share, if I do the stop share there, and then I just wanted to share the review that inspired me to actually republish the books. Yeah. Now the cover, the front cover is going to be different because this was the very first cover. And for some reason with Goodreads, the first cover that the book iteration, the book has, that's the one that seems to stick. Anyway, but so, I mean, like, don't look at the cover too much. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh my God. I mean, it's like where we've got 4 stars and blah, 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 what have you. So this is it. Beyond the Gates of Hermes. So ignore the cover. It was the very first one. But this is what Mirabelle has said. So you can see she's legit. And she emailed me and she says, I've read your book and I really want to give you a review. I was like, how did you find it? Anyway, so she said, richly layered and unforgettable. The combination of the Hermoporter, Galileo, and the turbulent era of the Counter-Reformation is brilliant. Every character, from the obsessed professor to the courageous Illawarra to the enigmatic Lucia, oh my God, just you wait until you get a piece of her, as depth and tension. This story feels both epic and intimate, promising a journey that challenges the heart as much as the mind. Oh, let me tell you, as a novelist, that is like, this is what helps us live. And there are obviously, look, the books were published a little while ago. There are other reviews in there. And actually, the book's been very well reviewed in general. But it reminded me of my great passions. So that's why I'm saying a big shout out and a thank you to Mirabelle for getting in touch with me and insisting that you left a nice way. She was like, I want to leave you a review. I had no idea. I don't know how she got hold of the book because this stuff was unpublished. I don't know how she got the book. I don't know how other people have got the books, but they are now back up there. So if you are interested and you want a good Christmas read and you want to see, obviously it's not me, but if you want to enjoy a bit of my creative output that you've not seen before, this is a huge part of myself that I haven't really shared before, at least not in a very long time. And this was way before my YouTube and stuff like that. So I hope you guys will enjoy the book. So of course, last plug, The Candid Guide to Neo-Vedic Astrology. Many of you know and love this book, so keep going for it. And I'm glad you guys getting so much pleasure. But Beyond the Gates of Hermes. Yep, my first novel. So much blood, sweat, and tears went into these books. Thousands of miles traveled. Second in the series is Beyond the Raging Flames, which takes it to an epic climax. And next book, one of the characters from the first book is a character called Iona, and she's American. And I knew that when it came to book number 3, that it was going to start in contemporary America. But I decided this years ago, and of course I never got round to it. Yeah, I was planning. I did the research for book number 3 in 2019. Yeah. And everything has transpired. Of course, there was COVID, and then started YouTube. And, you know, as we know, everything changed. And this character, one thing, it is still going to start in America with her, but it's going to be contemporary America, the events unfolding now. Because, you know, I've been wanting to get my 6 pence worth and giving, having the platform of fiction, as it were, to be able to tell greater truths, yeah, as we all know. So you're getting the inside scoop on that. I wasn't expecting to announce all of that, but I just thought, screw it, you know. And also as well, it's almost Christmas, so go for it. And if you would like to explore that side of my creative output that I have not shared in years. So Mirabelle, you have done me a tonic, and thank you so much. And that means I'm going to start writing probably next year, book 3 in the series. Also as well, we need to talk about that illustration. I know it spooked a lot of people out. Do you remember that tarot card that I was talking about? I'll just hold it back here, because one of my friends, Ingrid, she was saying, I posted this picture, you guys know, on my YouTube posts, and she said, I think it got shadow banned. Do you remember that tarot card I was talking about with the pyramids? That is just the rough sketch, because I am an artist, by the way. That is a rough sketch. I'm going to do soon, I don't know when, maybe sometime this week or maybe over the Christmas period when I've got a bit of time, I'm going to do the full color watercolor illustration of that card that I saw in my mind's eye. Yeah, and you remember with the circling pyramids when I had that dream of Trump. I'm going to do it. And also as well, people have been saying, make sure you protect yourself, you know, with white light and all of that stuff. Yes, and please send your protection and prayers. And rainbow light, I've been told, is very, very important and very, very protective. So I'm holding on here to my bit of obsidian, because we are in extraordinary times, guys. So after all of that, let's just dive into some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Of course, I'll bring you guys in, and thank you for your patience there as I talked about my books. But I've never shared, I've not shared that on my YouTube before. You guys know about the astrology book, probably didn't know about the novels, did you? I'm a man of many surprises. Right, let's discuss a few things. Japan. We're not going to go deep into Japan, but Japan is having some huge economic changes. Why is that important? Because Japan is one of the biggest holders of US debt. Yes, US treasuries, as many of you may know. Japan is number 1. China is number 2, and the UK is number 3, if my notes are correct on that. Why is this important? Japan is getting inflation. They've not had inflation for a very long time. This is why the prices in Japan have pretty much stayed the same for like the best part of 20 years, but they're starting to get inflation now. It's running around about 3%, and you're probably thinking, oh, that doesn't sound like much. However, part of the big way Japan works, and particularly in terms of its finance and global investment, because essentially the yen has been undervalued for so long, basically essentially they it's like, it's not good for imports, but it's very good for exports. And Japan has gone around and bought up a lot of assets. Yeah, a lot of assets. Because you imagine if you buy things, assets, say like in dollars or in pounds, you know, you're using yen to buy assets, but those assets are valued in pounds or dollars. Of course, the difference between the two is really quite great. Yeah. Anyway, the interest rate, inflation's going up. So the Bank of Japan, I think it is, or one of the other ones, one of the main banks of Japan, is talking about increasing the interest rate by, I think it's by 25 points, something like that. I think it's 0.25. Yeah. Or is it? Actually, I wrote down. Here we are. They want to take it from 0.5 to 0.7. Yeah. So they're increasing it by 2 or whatever it is. Why is this important? Because that could affect the American bond markets. Yeah. Why am I talking about that? Because, of course, this is what underpins the US economy. So there's lots of changes going on, guys. Lots of changes going on. Why am I talking about 3i Atlas again? Do you remember when, I can't remember what I said exactly in the video a little while ago now, but do you remember when I tuned in with the energy of 3i Atlas and I said, oh, guys, this is going to be talking about economic change. And I think I may have even got the tower. What was very interesting is that someone sent me an email to say that they tuned in with 3i Atlas and was getting something very similar as well. They also shared with me that this 3i Atlas is on a rotation, and apparently it rotates once every 16 hours and 16 minutes. And this person said to me, sorry, I've forgotten your name now. Sorry about that. This person said to me, well, the tower is the 16th card in tarot. And I was like, oh. So when we look at these things, it makes one think, doesn't it? It makes one think. We are in extraordinary times. Another reason why I wanted to come on is that basically it is, I don't know if the document was leaked or if it was released, but US government policy now is officially hostile to Europe. Officially hostile. They said, you know, Elon Musk has got his knickers in a twist, yeah, because he's been fined, what is it, $130 million or something like that by the EU. Let me just share that article with you so I'm not just plucking things out of the air. Elon fined by EU. Yeah, let's just look that up and give you the numbers. Here we are. Oh God, he's such a diva. Let's see. So let's just get, this is from, I just Googled and CNBC's come up first. I don't know if they're conservative or whatnot or what have you, but I think it's more important to actually share the tab just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we can see it. Oh, Jesus Christ, all these pop up. Elon Musk's calls for abolition of European Union after X fined $140 million, which should be bum crumbs for Elon. Yeah, maybe he's not that cash rich. Remember, all of his money is wrapped up. Yeah, it's wrapped up in Tesla and all that kind of stuff, which is wildly overvalued. I can't wait for the day to when all of that pops. Anyway, Elon Musk has called for the EU to be abolished after the bloc fined his social media company X 120 million euros, which is $140 million. Breaches include the deceptive design of its blue checkmark, the lack of transparency of its advertising repository, and the failure to provide access to public data for researchers. So now, if you think about it, now, is the EU overregulated? Yes, this has been an argument that's been spoken about for a while, but it doesn't mean all the regulations are irrelevant. Now, if you think about it, why would Elon be so upset about this? Because look, the deceptive design of its blue check mark, which we know is the way it's been used to validate people, has been sketchy. The lack of transparency in its advertising repository, that means who is actually funding X? They don't want people to know. And the failure to provide access to public data for researchers, yeah, because it's recently been exposed that there's all these farming bots out in Nigeria, Iran, India. Yeah, all these people pretending to be MAGA and yeah, fueling so much of this. Elon Musk has called for the European Union to be abolished for a deceptive blue check mark and lack of transparency in its advertising. We don't need to labor the point. We know the douchebaggery that is going on there. Now, I wanted to share that with you because this is part of a wider context of an energetic shift that is going on. And this is part of why I wanted to come on today. So Seekers says, hi Hogarth, so glad to see you, my friend. So nice to see you, much appreciated. Let's go to the top actually, because very often the people that join at the start don't get a chance to have their things read out. So we've got here iPurse, we thank you, and we've got Pamela, the gorgeous cat picture there. We've got Jessica, hi Hogarth and everyone. KY here, people in the chat, and then Inspired Surprise, I hope. And then, oh, what's this here? Golden Chariot says, hi, if Trump gets rid of Kristi Noem, will she sing like a songbird? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick slurp. Oh, I was so busy the other night republishing my works. Actually takes quite a while. Books, I say this to my friend Sarah, who I'm going to have on my show next year, and she's just completed an astrology book. Hers is like a compendium of how Western and Vedic astrology are different and how to use the two together. It's going to be a very important book, I think. And she thought she would be finished pretty quickly. And I said to her, Sarah, books are marathons. Yeah, they are not sprints. Don't listen to anyone that can tell you that a book can be written in 10 minutes, no matter what those AI pundits may say. Listen, a book that's written in 10 minutes is not worth reading. Books are journeys. They are adventures. They are adventures. And they are so fulfilling. So what's this? What if Trump gets rid of Kristi Noem? Will she sing like a bird? All right. Let's just read on this. Let's just read on the energy of Kristi Noem, and actually let's see what Shakespeare thinks of her as well. Ah, you've got the that kind of Nazi Barbie for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, lying Levitt, haven't we? Kristi Noem is just, she's just a whole other level. What's going on with Kristi Noem? And of course, white light protection, not only for myself, but everyone watching. Rainbow light protection, not only for myself, but everybody watching. And feel free to send protecting energies my way, especially as, the dreams. Oh my God. There's a dream that I had. I can't even share it here on YouTube. I really can't. I may share it on my retreat. Epic. Just, oh my God. And I think it's connected with that tarot card thing as well. Anyway, Kristi Noem, what's going on with this absolute diabolical creature, the puppy killer? Kristi Noem, the puppy killer. What's going on with her vis-a-vis Trump? You guys will have seen Marjorie Taylor Greene as continue to come out with the firepower. We know she's got her own agenda, but she's not holding back. Letting rip. Not spilling the tea, splashing the tea everywhere. Oh, God, here we go, of course. Oh, these people are so transparent. Her cards are almost boring in their predictability. Anyway, look. Kristi Noem, the rich merchant dishing out the money. She's doing it for the cash. She's literally doing it for the cash. Here's Trump being seen as daddy, or this, the oligarchy, the rich benefactors. And this is one of her and the other cronies, basically with their hands out, grabbing the money. So she's paid. Yeah. She's bought and paid for a hollow husk of a person. That's all she's doing it for. Yeah. If we look here in what could technically be an obstacle position, but really this is about her just holding on to status. Yeah. Holding on to status, holding on to money, doing it for the money. She's very attached. The shadow interpretation of this card could be someone who is too materially attached to their material identity. Yeah. Wow, there's 740 of you here now. Thanks so much, guys, because this really was an ambush. You weren't expecting this. Look at this. Knight of Cups. Yeah. She's there. She's employed. Yeah. She is paid to push out the message. Yeah. You know, with a, you know, standing there. Do you remember when she's standing there in front of the prisons, you know, with a big Rolex watch and looking all glammed up, you know, in a sort of like MAGA. Oh, anyway, you know what I mean. This is her. She is the envoy. She is there purely to advocate for the regime. Could there be a little bit of reflection happening in that dark soul of hers? We'll have to see. There could be a sense of isolation. There might be things going on behind the scenes that we're not aware about. She's certainly researching, investigating, digging into things. And then about what? Oh, looky here, we got the White House. So 4 of Wands. So what that says to me is she's taking the money because she's too attached to material status. She is prepared to be paid to be the voice piece or the envoy for the regime. But she's actually quietly plotting and planning, probably to try and find a way to have more influence in the White House. She may even want the White House for herself. There you go. That's how I'm interpreting that one. Let's see who else is in the old chit chat. So this is Kia Ora from New Zealand. Ah, and that's probably your grandson, I would imagine. Yeah, I think that's a little boy there. Let's see who else is there. Hello, Rosie. Hi, Hogarth. Nice surprise, says Rosie. And let's see who else is here. Ooh, who's this? Oh, thank you so much for the donation. So glad to see you right now, and a big thank you. Let's see who else is here. Much appreciated. Hello there. Hola, Hogarth. Hello to all. Sherry saying, hello, Hogarth. I was hoping you would come on. Oh, thank you. Maybe you guys were calling me. I literally felt the call. Let's see what Shakespeare has to say about Christy Noam, and then we'll kind of... This is very loose and freestyle tonight, guys. Loose and freestyle. Let me know your thoughts on Elon Musk now saying that the EU should be abolished. This new document, apparently, either leaked or shared, I can't remember which, is basically, it's just like, down with the EU. We want far-right people in there. We're going to be promoting, what is it, more patriotic parties in the EU. So, you know, Trump and Elon talk about free speech, but really what free speech means is deregulated market access to everyone, freedom to exploit whoever they want. And when they are challenged on this, this is seen as a challenge to free speech, although they don't want freedom for anyone else. And then anyone who gives a pushback against that, oh, you are sticklers for the rules, you are anti-democracy. It's just, and people believe this gobshite. But anyway, Christy Noam, what does the bard have to say about Christy Noam? Where is she? She's over here. Oh. Yeah. Look at this. So this is in from Macbeth. And this is off Christy Noam. Says, thou cream-faced loon, where gotst that goose look? Yeah. Cream-faced loon means lunatic. The bard is saying she's a cream-faced lunatic. And then on the next place, it's from King John. It says, where there is not ugly a fiend of hell as thou shalt be. Yep. I think that's, I think the bard has spoken quite clearly on that one there. If you've got any questions for me, throw them in. Let me just bring a few more of you in the chat. Crystal Blue is saying hello from Nebraska. Someone's saying Hermitage. I believe they are on pseudo. I don't quite know what that means. Greetings. Someone's saying, Seeker Sig sounds amazing. That's amazing. Thank you. Oh, of course, you're responding to the review. Rebecca, sounds like a really good book. I love to eventually get a copy of your release. It's released. It's ready. You could. It's there. You can buy it now. It's on Amazon. It's of course in ebook form and print book form as well. And Foggy Og is saying, how wonderful, Hoagie, congrats, thank you. And people saying congratulations on your grand review. I mean, it's more than one review, but yes, it was one that kind of re-inspired me. Oh, Connie B's in. She says, hi, Hogarth Global Astrology. And then someone's saying, what did I miss? Oh, you've not missed much. It's just me kind of yabbering on for a little bit. So it would be a trilogy, the same characters, time travels. Yeah, it would be more than a trilogy. This will be something that will just be ongoing because of the characters and the scope and the adventuring through time and, you know, the high stakes and the historical figures and locations and the drama and the magical realism as well. There's magical realism in their transformation. Some real characters. I mean, two of my favorites are Lucia and Orsini, Cardinal Orsini, and just the Italian people. Because as you guys know, I've been to Italy a lot, and I really researched this. I read a lot of historical books. I don't know if there's anything here, but I remember I read like Virgins of Venice. Where's one of my, oh God, I normally have all these books at my fingertips. I can't see them now. Let me just see. Oh God, where? Never mind. I'll leave it here for now because I can't. I've got so many books. I've read like Virgins of Venice, which is talking about the cloistered women of Venice and the power struggles and all the stuff about that. I read about Galileo, of course. Galileo is a major character. The Medici are major characters. You know, and just how it worked, the history of Italy, particularly late Renaissance Italy, early Baroque. Fascinating, and it's all there. It's this rich, flavorsome adventure, which many people have enjoyed. Let's see here. Laurie, only the astrology is audible, the others are on Kindle as well as paperback. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Oh, is there an earthquake? Earthquake today also. Oh, and then Laurie's saying, can't wait to see that card. Yeah, it's going to be quite something. 7.2 maybe, someone was saying. And someone's saying, minor earthquake in Great Britain recently too. Didn't feel it. We tend to get quite weak ones. Maybe a chimney stack might fall down, you know, something like that. And what's this here? Well, Dumpy is giving farmers tariff money. We have so much we can buy them back. Not. I mean, it's just madness, isn't it? Oh, what's this here? Denise Ferguson says, UK warns they will flood the markets with their sell-off of US debt if Duck steps over the line. They're tired of dealing with him. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is what makes this all so crazy. Maybe let's pull some cards on it. You know, will the EU retaliate by basically selling off America's debt? Because America is in the ballpark. I think it's now $38 trillion of debt. In fact, let's not do conjecture. Let's actually just have a little. Let's just have a little look and just see here. Just close down some tabs. And again, if you want to know the author details, all of that stuff, where to get my books, it's linked in the video below, in the video description. How much is US debt now? Oh, I hate, they always do the bloody AI overview. You can't even bloody avoid it, even if you want to. I'm not the biggest fan of AI, as you guys know, but it comes up as an automatic now. Also, as well, Sam Altman is worried because Amazon's taken over ChatGPT. Anyway, the US national debt is currently around $38.4 trillion. Yes, trillion, as reported by the US Treasury. So that is 1,000 billion, if I remember correctly. In early December 2025, a figure that includes both debt held by the public and intra-governmental holdings. This debt grows daily, reflecting accumulated borrowing. Recent figures showing it exceeding 38 trillion as of November 2025, and around 36.2 trillion in mid 2025. This is also accompanied as well by this huge amounts of debts. So yeah, daily updates. US Treasury provides real-time updates through its debt to the penny data set components. Total includes debt held by public investors, foreign governments, intra-governmental holdings, debt owed to government trust funds, etc. Social Security. The debt is increasing, adding roughly 1 trillion every few months, and stands at over 118% of the nation's GDP. Yeah. And Elon is running around, running his lips, saying that the EU should be abolished. What that means is this, it's very stark, and I hope it doesn't happen, but if the Trump regime, in combination with Elon and these billionaires, if they keep sucking up as they have been doing to Putin, who is, what we need to understand is that even though we have the channel, UK is geographically Europe. If Putin attacks mainland, well, he's already attacked mainland Europe via Ukraine, but let's say he expands the war further. Yeah, Poland, former Soviet bloc kind of stuff. That is not good. That can't be happening, and they are emboldening this man. And if the EU steps up, Japan could do it as well, maybe by default. But we hold a lot of US debt. If we sell that debt, yeah, and we flood the market, US bonds will tank. Yeah, those yields will start to go up. America's going to have to pay even more. It will tank the economy. And I think basically, obviously, this is not being reported that much on US news, but let me tell you, it is starting to reach the nuclear option. Yeah. Someone's going to have to press that big button soon, because if they keep going this way, supporting Putinshka, yeah, you know, and if you think all because of like the Epstein files, basically, and Putin's got compromat on Duck L'Orange. Yeah, remember all the blowing Bubba? Yeah, that's why I called him Bubba Blowhard for a while. I think it's not only, I mean, obviously all the stuff with the sexploitation of the girls and all that stuff and young women was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. I think what they've got is they've got a lot of male on male action, I think, on Duck L'Orange. Yeah. Yeah. And it could, you never know, it could even involve boys. So if it's girls, you know, look, a lot of these people, they you know, they don't discriminate. You know, it's not just the young women and girls that are sexploited. You know, the taboo of taboos, which really isn't right, because sexploitation is sexploitation. But you know, no one wants to talk about what happens to the young men and boys, particularly in Hollywood. Yeah, for entertainment purposes only. So I think that is a big part of it. So let's see, how is Europe going to respond? Are Europe going to try? Are they going to be forced? Will they have no choice but to start selling US debt? China has been doing it already. Japan's been doing it already. At the moment, it is somewhat of a trickle. But if that trickle should become a flood, then it's over. And that may have to be in order for Europe to save itself, because basically the US government have said they're overturned what? Since the Bretton Woods, you know, since the Second World War, they've completely turned policy on its head. They've basically been like, Europe, screw you, you're on your own. We prefer Putin. You know, how long can that really continue? You know, it will happen. You know, if it, honestly, like if Europe has to choose between saving itself and holding and stopping the advancement of Putin, like what choice does Europe really have? Really? You know, the nuclear option is it's all going to come to a head next year anyway. All right. Europe vis-a-vis America. How's it feeling about the United States? What does it want to do as a collective? And it goes to show as well that, you know, all of that entertaining, well, the UK government obviously had Duck L'Orange over, but it's, you know, he always wants more. Oh, now this is interesting. I might have to pull some clarifiers here. But look here, look, Europe doesn't want to do it, yeah? Doesn't want to pull the plug completely on America. If we look here, we got the Seven of Pentacles, which you know is my card I refer to as the card of ROI, return on investment. This can also talk about how much of the US treasuries and debt Europe owns, yeah? Like I said, Japan first, then China, then it's the UK, yeah? And then it's basically Europe. So this is showing, look, the sunk cost, yeah? Here's Europe looking down at these pentacles going, shall I sell some of this? But it's a tricky one, yeah, because this is also talking about the years of investment in the transatlantic relationship. This is also talking about the fruits and decades of mutual assistance, camaraderie, collaboration. Europe is like, oh, not sure I want to turn my back fully on that, yeah? Anyway, however, if we look here, we got the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, I remember pages are all about messages, but the Page of Wands in particular is known about the orator, is known as the orator. It also deals with the youth as well. Pages are youthful anyway, but this can really talk about students and stuff like that. I think the time is coming where Europe is now starting to raise its voice. Yeah, Europe's starting to raise its voice, especially the European youth that obviously can't stand what's going on. They are hesitant about it because they know that if they were to pull the plug, it's going to be a lot of hardship for Europe and for everyone. Yeah. And obviously Europe will go down in history as the ones that pulled the trigger. Yeah. However, look, there's a lot of heartbreak here. A lot of heartbreak. This is really breaking the hearts of everyone in Europe to see America behaving like this. It's really shocking. It's really shocking. In fact, I'm going to play you guys a little clip so you can see a bit of the British reaction. I was watching on LBC. I'm going to share a clip with you guys, and you guys are going to be like, oh my God. Yeah. So there's heartbreak here, sadness. But look, another page comes. Yeah. Another page comes. And this is the Page of Pentacles. This is talking about money. Yeah. So there could be an announcement. Let me just see if I can get the, let me just see here if I can get, what am I doing? Let me just see if I can get the YouTube video up. Is that it? Is that what I wanted to do? No. Let me just see if I can find the video. Let's just do here history. And let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one. Let me just, I'll just let the advert go 1 minute. I'll get an advert going on. Hopefully I won't be demonetized for sharing LBC. Here we are. So let's share this tab with you just so you can see a bit of the British reaction. So this is Simon Marks, who is a British journalist and correspondent based in Washington, D.C. And he gives the sort of like the skinny on the British reactions. So let's just, oops. Come on, baby. Oh, come on. Don't play around. There we are.
This is the first day of our lives, the vast majority of us, when we have woken up and it is crystal clear that there is an American government in power that intends to torpedo completely the 80-year transatlantic alliance that has kept the peace in Europe since 1945, that is absolutely determined to interfere in the internal affairs of the UK and its European partners, and wants to bring about a situation in what this document refers to as patriotic political parties find themselves much more easily achieving power in Europe, a continent that this document agrees or argues is at risk of civilizational erasure because it has allowed so many immigrants into European borders that the entire future of the European project is not in doubt, but according to this document, absolutely bound to collapse, and to collapse in a way where the document argues that non-European populations will become the majority populations in so many European states that NATO will basically fall apart of its own volition, because for some reason those non-European majorities, whenever they come about, will not favor the idea of the mutual defense covenants that lie at the heart of the NATO Charter. It's unclear why they wouldn't do that, any more than it is opaque in this document what Donald Trump means by patriotic political parties.
Well,
but you don't have to be a swami to understand it. I mean, they don't think the Democrats here are a patriotic political party. So I certainly don't think they think Labour or possibly even Kemi Badenoch's Conservatives are patriots. This is an effort to sweep Reform UK into number 10 Downing Street, and it's all written down in black and white.
I mean, it's hard to know where even to begin, because it is simultaneously dangerous and gibberish. The idea that Europe is facing civilizational decline, or that the European Union membership is problematic at a time when support for membership of the European Union in EU countries is the highest it has ever been, not least as a consequence of the Brexit that these clowns championed, and indeed that Farage, of course, who you mentioned quite rightly as a potential beneficiary of this dangerous gibberish, was a key proponent of. So
I'll pause it there. So that was just to give you a flavor. That's a channel that's called LBC, which so many of you may know from the UK. That's how we're responding to it. Yeah. Obviously, not all news media channels are showing it exactly the same way, but that is this in terms of tone. That's how we're looking at it. So I wanted to share that with you, because obviously it's not going to be reported that way in the United States. So this is very, very serious. You could hear just from the introduction there the gravitas of this scenario here. And in a way, you know, going back again to the novels and the books again, I've been longing to get back to my historical fiction. And like I said, you know, when it comes to one of my main characters, Iona, an American character, female, and book number 3 is going to pick up with her life, but it's going to be contemporary America, contemporary world, because these times now need to be written about. Yeah. These times now need to be written about, because we are seeing some bonkers things. I put some clarifiers there on that announcement. Yep. EU. And look, walking away. The EU is walking away. It's walking away from the United States, and it may well pull the trigger on the economy. Yeah. They're walking away. 8 of Cups. Ace of Pentacles, which obviously deals with money, economy. And then look here, the Hierophant, which talks about established norms, rules, regulations, Also talking about authority. So I think this is the EU. Basically, it's going to exercise its authority, I think, within its range to take some kind of economic action, because the relationship has been abandoned by the United States. Obviously, it's not you guys. I'm talking about the regime. Here, you can see America, Trump, JD Vance, all these people, they are walking away. So Europe is like, well, we don't have a choice. And I think that tipping point, that crucial point, is probably going to happen next year. Look, it's going to be Christmas soon. Things will die down a little bit. But yeah, I really don't see how much choice is being left. Oh, my goodness, Edie, darling, thank you. Just $100 donation. That's incredible. What a pleasant surprise to see you today, she says. Thank you so much. Also want to give thanks as well to CG. Will we ever be free of Elon? Let's pull some cards on Elon, that douchebag. Follyfoot, thank you so much for your kind donation. Much appreciated. And of course, excited to read from Southern Utah. Excellent. Yeah, let's look at that. Let's read on this. What's going on with Elon? He's an absolute nutbag. Oh. And have you seen Trump with this FIFA Global Peace Prize? I mean, you can't make it up. You know how I was saying it's beyond parody now. It's beyond parody. FIFA is a very corrupt organization, by the way, and it's got absolutely F all to do with peace. I'll tell you that. Football, yeah, perhaps. Corrupt up to the eyeballs. And they're giving him a FIFA Peace Prize. And my friend was telling me, I saw the little clip, but I couldn't stomach to watch it all. Trump put the medal on himself. Oh, Elon. What's going on in that man's mind? Demented. And he wasn't even born in the States. That's what's so extraordinary. He wasn't even born there. And he came in on a dodgy student visa, didn't he? Overstayed his visa. His brother confessed. Oh, here we go. Oh, look, we can see his motivations. Look, for him, it's all about his agreements that he's made. Yeah, Elon. Remember as well, I associate the lovers cards with imports and exports, international agreements and trade. So what is Elon is trying to protect his international interests. I think this is also as well deals and whatnot he's done with a certain Putinska and other people. Yeah, in regards to compromise. In the obstacle position, we have the Hierophant. This time it's coming back. He wants to pontificate. Yeah, so when this came up for the EU, this is the EU trying to maintain its integrity, its rules, its regulations, yeah, because this is a symbol of authority. But here it's showing up in regards to Elon. Elon wants to dictate his rules. Yeah, he wants to pontificate. He wants to set the new moral order and tone, yeah, for America, which of course is going what? Further to the right. Look what's also back. We look here, we got the Seven of Pentacles. Now, isn't this interesting? Because this came up as well for the EU, but now we're getting the other side. What this shows is that Elon has a sunk cost. He wants a return on his ROI as well. All of the people that he has invested in, the key people that have invested in him, his shareholders and whoever else he's holding up. But also as well, he's trying to call in the chips for people he's paid off, yeah, or invested in. But of course, you can't have Elon without the moon being present. Look, he's a lunatic. Yeah, he's a lunatic. This is a man that is psychologically and emotionally compromised and damaged. Yeah, damaged goods. Again, for entertainment purposes only. This is a person, he is struggling to sleep at night. We know about the ketamine. He just never stops. And it's just all frothing. Here, of course, you have the wolf and the dog, or the dog and the wolf. The dog is talking about duty, responsibility, society, being, you know, a productive person. The wolf, of course, is talking about the wild instincts. But I always draw people's attention to the lobster, which I associate with the id, coming out of the waters of the subconscious and going towards the wolf. The challenge with this card is to walk between the pillars of truth. Here, this is showing that Elon is just indulging in his bestial instincts. All he cares about is profit. And if we look here, the next card that comes out, of course, is the Merchant. How appropriate for Elon. And you see here are the ships. This is my card of imports and exports. But you see he's looking overseas. So he's casting his gaze to Europe and seeing what other meddling he can do so that his ships come in, yeah? So that he can satisfy, yeah, his id, his deep, dark desires, and his money investments, so that he can pontificate and get to decide the terms of international trade and agreements, yeah, when I read it backwards. So that's what Elon's all about. God. Some people just need to fall down a deep, dark hole, don't they? Just a deep, dark hole. Let's pull some cards on Duck L'Orange. Raymond said there's nothing more confirming than the prison we don't know we're in. Shakespeare. Yes, absolutely. Where was that? Old Wind says, do you see the USA using the antitrust laws in the future to break up huge corporations? Look, unlikely. Think of the big, beautiful bill, yeah? Well, it's ugly bill. It's been given what? More power to corporations. If Bernie Sanders were to get in, then I would say yes. But I think that is a long way off now. America is basically is essentially a corporation now. It's for corporate people and obviously sexual offenders in terms of leadership, which is sad, but it's just true, isn't it? Right, let's take a look here. What's going on with Duck L'Orange? Oh, that's funny. Look, who's back? There's three. You see how it fell out, and it was the Three of Swords and the messaging. Let's see if those cards come back. Duck L'Orange. So he's got his fake FIFA Peace Prize. Oh, I've never seen so much done to indulge the fragile ego of one man. It's just astonishing. All right, what's going on with Duck L'Orange? Duck L'Orange. Bubba Blowhard. What's going on with Bubba Blowhard? Who clearly has a penchant for Phantom of the Opera. You have to laugh. Can't make this up. Of course. The usual. It's like the same cards just keep coming up. We look here. Look, third time. Is it the third time? I can't even remember. But look, the lovers show up again. Remember I said this card, I associate this card with imports, exports, yeah, trade agreements. But it's also partnership. Look, Trump has got his partnership with all sorts of other people, except the American people, obviously. You know, his donors, the billionaires. He's just sold everything out, yeah? If we look here, still working hard, yeah? He is working hard in the background, or the regime is. This is showing up in the obstacle position. But the first card is quite positive. So this is basically they are just working. They're trying to do as much damage and as much change as they can before Trump is a complete lame duck president. Yeah, that's the regime. We look here, we got Stinky Fish has shown up. Yeah. If we look, you know, we've got this is the Page of Cups. So another page. The only page we've not seen yet is the Page of Swords. And as you know, this can be unpleasant messages, memos, information coming out. I think this is an unpleasant message, of course, for the EU. But this is also Duck L'Orange in general. You know, is always coming out with, spewing out with something. So more douchebaggery to come from him. we look here, we then also have the 10 of Cups. And, you know, this card often comes up when we're talking about the GOP projecting the image that is too good to be true. Yeah, this is how I've come to interpret this card politically, is the image of too good to be true, the false family. Yeah, he's trying to say, yes, prices are going down. Thanksgiving was cheaper this year. Yeah. And if we look here, we see Dr. Orange is trying to what? Recalibrate, rebalance. Here with the Temperance card, he's trying to change the alchemy. Someone played a side-by-side video of him the other day talking about cost of living on the campaign trail. And then he was saying that the cost of living and affordability is a Democrat hoax. Let's just put one clarifying card for that, Temperance. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. All right. Clarifying card for that, Temperance. What is it that Trump is trying to recalibrate, rebalance in regards to his international agreements and relationships? Not just in general, what's he trying to rebalance? Typical. Oh! Let's have one more. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Look, aggression, war, Knight of Swords. This is the attack against Venezuela. This is the attack against Europe. His best form of defense is attack. This is what he's trying to recalibrate via violence, via blowing things up, by being aggressive. Just in case we weren't sure what his motivations are, the devil. Yeah, there. Which is what? The card of corruption, compromise, sociopaths and psychopaths, and it's just not a good card in general. And then who's it about? Just in case we weren't sure, look at this. I feel like in some ways I've corrupted the meaning of this card, but as you know, I do so many political readings now, and you know I associate the star with narcissist, yeah, but Duck L'Orange in particular, wanting to be there in the spotlight. He wants to stay relevant on the main stage. He is such a black hole. He's so empty inside that he would rather be warmongering and devilish just to keep himself in the spotlight, because that's how thirsty his ego is. And ultimately, this is what it boils down to. And really, shame on all the people that have been endorsing this, supporting this, feeding him, feeding the monster, feeding the gremlin after midnight. He was bad enough as it was in the first term, let alone now. And he is just in the depths of narcissistic. Yeah, this is, look, the malignant narcissist, devil and start card, who's aggressive. Yeah. And these are his attacks on Europe and stuff like that. So he's getting worse, folks. He's getting worse. But we'll leave it there. But next year, many things are going to change, folks. Many things are going to change. We're coming up into Christmas, which is traditionally a bit of a calmer, more quiet time. Even the douchebags, even the evil have to take a little bit of rest over that time. Not that they ever do stop. But I think 2026 is going to be quite interesting going forward. But Trump, he is desperate to remain relevant. And let's just see. Let's finally close with the Bard. I know we've gone over a little bit. What does Bard have to say about Trump? Yeah. Yeah, look at this. This is from King Lear. This is what the Bard has to say about Trump. From the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust beneath thy foot, a most toad, spotter, traitor. There. Yeah. King Lear. That's it. That's it. He's a traitor. He's a traitor. Anyway, we all know that. I will leave it there. Oh, sugar. I forgot to show the comments that were... Sorry, guys, I forgot to show the comments there. I hope you found that interesting. Oh gosh, it was 914 of you in the end. Thank you so much. Thank you as well for all the donations. Much, much appreciated. I hope you guys found that show interesting. Who else is here? Let's see. Let's get some closing thoughts in. New comments. Yeah, exactly. Like the toad, ugly and venomous Shakespeare. What's this here? And then someone saying, yep, Spirit Woman say, yep, the bard is correct. Absolutely. And Deborah saying, spot on. Yeah, the bard never fails. Anyway, I will leave it there. What's the people don't even enough to know that Trump is being... Yeah, and then Diva says, people don't even know enough to know that what Trump is doing is anything but presidential. Yes, unfortunately. And there are some people, I'm convinced now, have made a soul contract to basically sink with the ship with Trump. They'll just follow him like the Pied Piper off the cliff or into the cave or wherever. And like I said, they're irredeemable at this stage. But there are many people waking up as well. Three Eye Atlas, I think, is bringing a lot of consciousness to things. I think on the 19th of December, about 10 days from now, apparently is when it gets its closest to Earth or thereabouts. So 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, we'll take a look and see what's going on in the world at that time. I will leave it there. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you for listening to my little presentation on my books and stuff. Go for it, yes? Beyond the Gates of Hermes and Beyond the Raging Flames, and of course the Candid Guide to Neo-Vedic Astrology. If you want a nice Christmas read, you know, dive in. And of course, there we are, the astrology and the two novels. Oh, my darlings. And I will start, when will I start the new one? I don't know, maybe over Christmas, you know, I might start the new one. I'm going to have to make some preliminary notes because you always plan out a book before you write it. And I'm going to revisit my old notes, reread my novels as well, just to get myself fresh back up in the stories again. And then I'm going to say probably start next year. I don't know how long it will take. You know, books take a while, particularly even creative books. They take even longer, but it's time to start. So thank you, Mirabelle. You have started me back on my creative writing novelistic journey. So anyway, I will leave it there. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming up. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of respite and break. You, of course, will see me again on Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, and who do I have in on Wednesday? This Wednesday coming, the Wednesday show should be Ganga, David, and Afefe, with myself hosting as usual. So that, I think, is going to be a fascinating show. And I'll see you all on Wednesday. So big love, everyone. Chin up. Keep going. This cannot last forever. Someone's going to have to pull the plug on this sooner rather than later. All right. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.